Yeah, actually, we are live right now. So
Oh,
let's,
that's very nice.
yeah, let's wait a few seconds. Okay, then I think let's start. Three people are watching right now. I hope it will increase.
No worries. So let
So let's do the intro. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Destro Dev Show. And today is actually our first show in this channel, first live show. And in this first live, David is here, and David is basically the creator of DeckDeckGo. Let's meet David. Hello, David.
hi.
How things are going?
I'm fine, and you? Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, it's actually my pleasure because as the first guest, you agreed instantly, which is a very big deal for me. And yeah, I think more people will come and join us in the journey. So okay, what's your topic actually? What is DeckDeckGo?
Yeah, so DeckDeckGo is an open source web editor for presentation for slides.
Yeah.
It had grows a bit, so I like to call it sometimes an ecosystem because you got really like many apps, many components, different parts, and there is an online editor and there is also like a CLI for developer. So everything you can do with our online product, you can do it with code too. So,
Yeah.
and everything is open source, and everything I'm gonna share today is already public. So
Yeah.
no secret here.
Okay, so nothing secret here. So
Yeah.
basically, anyone can, after this call, if someone is watching this or someone is watching later on the YouTube, anyone can just go to the GitHub, and we will share the links here in the below within a minute and in the talks few times. So people can just go there. Also search on Google, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, but before going to the code, maybe do you want to share something about you, any fun thing or your journey, how you started DeckDeckGo or coding in general?
So yeah, in general, I'm a freelance web developer. So
Yeah.
that's my main occupation, and DeckDeckGo is my side project.
Yeah.
So and it mostly started as a learning project.
Yeah.
I had to do a presentation about web component,
Yeah.
and I noticed that wasn't using web component to do my presentation, so I just built quickly that small tools, and
Yeah.
more than 2 years later, it's like a bit more than a small tool. And I have to say that also, like the editor, we built that a bit more than 1 year ago with my friend Nicola Mattia. And yeah, so basically that's it.
Okay, cool. So nice. And let's probably go into your product.
Sure. So I will share my screen.
Yep.
Did you see my screen?
Yeah, I see your screen. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it was a busy day, so I just prepared a bit of some drawings before we go into the code.
Yeah.
And you interrupt me anytime. Huh?
Yeah, sure. By the way, just to say one thing about two others, that you are using Excalibur, right? So I also
Yeah,
use Excalibur sometimes. So
yeah, it's
if
very nice.
someone, yeah, if someone don't know how to draw things, Excalibur draw is like I think just very easy. You can just go to the URL and draw anything randomly there.
Yeah, exactly. It's very nice.
Yeah, let's
And
continue.
so yeah, so our website is deckdeckgo.com, but as I say, we got many products. So we got one main online editor, which is built with Stencil, and it's a PVA, and that PVA is also available in Google Play and Microsoft Store because I use the PVA Builder. I don't know if you heard about it. It's a nice project. You can go there, enter your PVA, and then it basically gonna help you package easily your app to ship it in the Microsoft Store or Google Play. So it's kind of nice to have that opportunity.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for
it's great.
sharing. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we got a website made with Gatsby, and that's brand new. Before we used to have like one big app with everything, but then I just thought that it made more sense to have like really the editor in a single bundle, and then to have everything which has to be SEO friendly and all the information in a website. And yeah, for my client, I often build with Gatsby, so I just went with it. Then we have documentation for developer. So as I say, you can write also your presentation, what we're gonna do later as a developer. So it's also everything is documented. And I also built that with Stencil. So I could have built it with Storybook or whatsoever, but yeah, it was nice to do like that. And we got a remote control. I can maybe showcase it later. It's basically what you are showcasing with your in the editor or something like that is reflected in the remote, and you can change slide, maybe draw over your slide, and so on. And that's also a PVA with Stencil. And then here I put a lot of small square because every single presentation built with DeckDeckGo are PVA themselves, are apps. This kind of, it's like we basically created apps to build apps.
Okay, so do you mean like if someone creates one slide or presentation, that can be like exported as an independent PW application?
Yeah, exactly. Automatically. Automatically. So like, you know, here, for example, you got some presentation which are built with our library. So each single of them are a PVA. You see, you got the menu and everything. So
okay, that's really awesome.
So the idea is that you can basically install every presentation on your phone or on your laptop or whatever. And we also got like I just gonna switch so you see the screen. I'm gonna take an iPhone here, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
You see, when we deliver a presentation on mobile, so that's the same presentation, huh?
Yeah.
So here you see the scrolling is like a presentation.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But then on mobile, it becomes like a papyrus. Okay, so here I got some error whatsoever, but
yeah,
because on mobile, I kind of think that you consume the information differently. You know, it's a bit annoying to do that on mobile. So that's something also we launched a couple of months ago, that you've got really like a long papyrus with all your slides, and that really look like a apps with an infinite scrolling almost, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
cool actually. Yeah.
So, and then you got you got the menu, you got some stuff here, so you can have notes and so on. So yeah, it's really like every presentation is an app.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's actually a different concept. I mean, I didn't see anything like that before. I think at least I didn't see. Maybe some other people can comment later, but yeah,
probably. So yeah, and all this presentation are made with that's vanilla JS basically. It's just like a starter kit with Webpack. There is no framework. So when you look at all these apps, you know, you got Gatsby, you got vanilla JS, you got Stencil. But to me, that directly explains why we are using so much web components, because all the presentation, the component we are building can be used regardless of the technology, you know. So that's why it was for me really a good bet to use Stencil, because we got component and anytime we can go anywhere we want. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, actually, most people use Storybook, right? Because Storybook is really popular,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
personally, I also have worked with Storybook for last couple of years, but never
Mm.
tried Stencil. So I think that will be something I will also try out later.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna check a bit of code later. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know. Do you use React?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. So the good thing is like Stencil use GSX too.
yeah,
So if you know React, your onboarding in Stencil gonna be pretty quick. You
yeah,
know, it's like
yeah,
so. And I like to build web component with it because yeah, the community is a small community, but really helpful.
yeah,
And also you got web components, but you got all that tooling, with TypeScript, sorry, with test and so on. So it makes like the developer experience really nice. I mean,
yeah. Cool,
yeah.
cool.
So yeah, so that's basically for how apps can make a demo afterwards. Or maybe no. Yeah, maybe the infrastructure first. So I try to explain how our editors work. So for our editor, we are relying on Firebase. So we use the old Firestores, the function, the storage, and so on.
Yeah,
But then when we publish a presentation, like like one of these presentation, which has here, this presentation, these are served by AWS.
yeah,
So there we got Lambda, RDS, and so they are hosted in S3. And all that AWS part has been written by my friend Nicola in Haskell and in Usenix to do the installation.
yeah,
And don't ask me how it works. I've got no clue.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's like, to me, it's like black magic. It works.
yeah, yeah,
It's super.
yeah. So it works, and you are happy about that. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And yeah, we got, so for the remote control with the editor, it works with Webrtc.
yeah,
And we still got like a small Socket.io server to make the connection available
yeah,
or for the live polling. But yeah, it's like I've got an issue about this, which is open since 2 years, that we should migrate that here, But it's always one of these things where you're like, yeah, we're gonna do it tomorrow, and it never happens.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, and yeah, before I do the test, so in our editor we are using services. So through Firebase, we're using Mailchimp, and
Mhm.
as we publish the presentation, when you write a presentation, you publish it to Amazon to make it online, but you can also push the source code of the presentation to your repo. So we do that also automatically.
Yeah.
We using Tenor for GIFs and Unsplash. Cool?
Yep.
Okay. So like I said, we got like the website, and then when you sign in, then you land in our apps. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking, what we can do is here I'm gonna create a new presentation. Okay. But at the same time, I'm gonna create a presentation as I would be a developer. So we have a bit like the two sides.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, when so here I just create a new presentation. I'm logged in and I got a presentation, and I can write hello world. This is my presentation. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, you can do that with, let's say you want to code it with HTML.
Yeah, David, maybe please increase the font a little bit of the terminal.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
If I font, do you know how can?
I think command plus will also work. Command plus, yeah, it is also working. Yeah.
Is it good like this?
I think a bit bigger because a lot of people also watch on
Yeah, no
phone.
worries.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Dankeschön. Thanks a lot.
no
Yeah.
worries.
Yeah.
So in any case, I'm just gonna skip a bit the part.
Yeah.
So basically, we got a CLI, and when you create it, it ask me what I want to do, what's name. I want to ask it demo.
Yeah.
And then, no, I don't want to set up. And if I open now that project, which is called demo. You see, it created like a whole project where I can come and code my presentation.
Ah, okay.
So here, if I do, sorry, I should go in my, no.
Yeah.
If I do that. Yeah, it takes a bit of time.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so now, if it works out, yeah, as you can see, I got a presentation. So now if I want to do the exact same slide, then it's basically come here and I say, okay, I got the go slide. I will explain the concept of title afterwards, but I got basically a title.
Also, David, please increase the font of the.
Okay, you know that I did it already.
Okay. I think, yeah, fine. I think now. Yeah, thanks a lot.
No worries. So here we had hello world, and this is my presentation. So I'm gonna have slot content. This is my presentation. And when I check here, normally, if it works out, yeah, you see?
Yeah.
So basically, you can really do everything we do with our online editor, as a developer too.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like if you are a developer, if you want to have the control of coding, you can also do that, right? Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you can build it and you can deploy it wherever you want, or don't deploy it. Just go to the presentation.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that when we do an improvement for the starter kit, for the developer kit, then we got an improvement in our online editor. And when we do an improvement on the online editor, then I've got it too, you know?
Yeah, sure. And I saw you're using web components. You added one web component, so which can be used for both places, right? So if someone contributes any web component, it can be used in both places.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice. And so that's what I wanted to say. So basically we got like a core, which is the deck.
Yeah.
And then you add slides. And when you add slides, you always add a slide which is based on a template. You know, like that one is the template title, but you got the template component where maybe you're gonna have like the text, you know, it's not at the same place. But then you also got like some templates who are a bit more clever. Like you can, for example, if you want to showcase your app, you can enter like the URL of your app, say you want to have iOS around it, and then you're gonna grab an app inside it. Or you got like you got polls. So if you want to interact with your audience, We can give a try. Do you have your phone next to you?
Yeah, I have my phone.
Okay. Would you try to scan the QR code and try to vote? I don't know if it's gonna work. I didn't check it. It should.
Or maybe we can actually continue and do that afterwards. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So just to say that, I'm just gonna make bigger so everyone sees. So all these here are web components too.
Yeah.
And then when you add like a slide, you can select a text, but you can also, for example, add code. And that piece of code here, that's a web component again. And underneath, it uses Prism.js. I don't know. I'm gonna Prism.js.
Yeah, Prism.js. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry for my accent.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
And yeah, you got like styling option. You can that was like a pull request, I think, from Akash, one of our contributor. We did that during Oktoberfest or something. You can have like all this different style, or you can have a Ubuntu terminal, and so on. Yeah, and the cool thing is like, because it's a web component, you can use it everywhere. So as for example, we got a Gatsby plugin, which use that component. And if you go to my personal website, for example, if you go to a blog post, oops, no, yeah, then you see, you find the component again. So it's kind of nice that you can use this everywhere.
Yeah, true. So yeah, there's the beauty of that also. Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, what can I say more? So you got, and so once you are finished with your presentation, that's what I mean with publishing the packaging everything to an app. You can say, okay, I'm ready to share. Then you get the title and so on. You can say if you want to push to GitHub too. And when you say publish now, then you're gonna package everything, and then you're gonna deploy your presentation online as a progressive web app.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, we got like you can go in full screen mode. And what I personally like in full screen mode is I can toggle, and then I can still edit in full screen mode, which is kind of useful if you, I don't know, if you got a typo before your presentation.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And you can also work with one slide offline. So yeah.
So offline means when you are not actually connected to the internet. And
yeah, exactly. So what we do to do that, I can show you. So it's custom made. I gonna go there. Basically, when you go offline,
you store the data in okay.
You see
there are a lot of
here,
ways: IndexedDB, local
yeah,
storage. So
you got everything here. And then when you go offline, we're gonna pull the data and put them back to the. So it's like a bit like Netflix when you want to watch the show offline.
Yeah.
but a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you got like other option. Like I say, you can, for example, if I got an image, I can go to Unsplash and say, and search for photos, and then introduce those in my presentation. There is also different layers. So you got like the deck, the slide, and the elements. So I can, for example, go on the deck and say that I want yellow. Then I can go on the slide, say, no, for that slide, I want blue.
Yeah.
And then for this element, I want to have I don't know, like black and whatsoever color. We got like a small checker. We told you when it works if there is a problem with the contrast in your slide.
Yeah.
And then you can do stuff like that's also some contribution we received during Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
So you got like some fancy things, and yeah, you can select the fonts. So if you want to use some Google fonts,
Yeah.
and you can add your footer or header, but you don't have like a zillion of possibilities. The idea is that this goes quick and that you got quickly a presentation up and running.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically it.
Okay, that's really nice. And so I think personally, I and also the audience will have a high level idea of the product and everything. And maybe do you want to also go a little bit in the coding side, like
Sure,
maybe
sure.
just, yeah.
So
And also, by the way, it was like 11 people watching 1 minute ago. So it is kind of 10, 8 to 11, 12. Like it is just like going up and down. So let's
right.
say on average 10.
Okay, that's really nice. Really
Yeah.
nice. So yeah, maybe before going into the code, so like you pointed out, you got everything in DeckDeckGo, huh?
Yeah.
And then you always got like a README who tell you, okay, that's the editor, that's the URL to editor, that's its README, that's the changelog. You know, so all apps, all web component,
Yeah.
all template, everything is documented here. And if you are a developer, there is the documentation there with all the component and everything. So yeah, it's not the best documentation in the world, but there is a documentation.
Yeah. And there is a saying like the code is actually the best documentation for the developers. So
Okay.
yeah. So yeah.
So
Yeah.
fingers crossed that's the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and also the code is available in the GitHub. So if also
yeah,
anyone wants to see more clearly the exact code line by line, they can also go to the GitHub. Yeah, now it's fully fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, the editor, huh? I just gonna, oh, the editor here, it's maybe the interesting part is a bit separated, like because I got like I do a lot of Angular project too.
Yeah.
So I kind of split my code in packages as I would do with an Angular app. Like
Yeah.
I got the components, like I got the pages, the modals, and so on.
Mm.
That's also because I also build Ionic apps, and in Ionic you got the pages. So that's why I got
Yeah.
pages and popover. And by the way, like all the menu, the buttons, popover, and so on. So that's Ionic too as a design system.
Mm.
So every time we got like a PVR, I use Ionic basically.
Okay. Mm.
So, and when we have a look at that page, so that's gonna be massive, but we can have a look.
By the way, you're also the organizer of the Ionic meetup in Zurich, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm the organizer of the Ionic Zurich meetup, and also there is like also an indie hacker group. I do that with my friend Ben.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Ionic meetup, I do it like since since like 3 years maybe or something like that.
Okay, cool.
So this year we weren't much active, but we had like I think 3 or 4 meetups online. So yeah.
Yeah.
So of course that's a bit like a massive page because it's like really the core of the component
Mm.
of the project. But if I go to the render, so you know it's look like React, and there is a render
Yeah.
function, and then it returns what you have to do. And you see here, that's the deck, right?
Yeah.
And you remember when that's our starter kit, huh? The presentation we coded before.
Yeah, true.
You see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Same. So it's really like same.
Yeah.
The only difference is that here the slides, they are coming from the database. So it goes there, it goes to the database, it fetches the slide, and then here it runs off the slides. And to do that, I think I can show you, like for me, that was really like our slides, maybe. I'm gonna increase the font size. That's a bit dumb, but that I show that on every single time.
Yeah, it's fine now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just gonna show you like the, okay, so you see that line of code?
Yeah.
That was for me like because I was able to do that, I was able to build the whole editor. Because that slides tag is just a string.
Yeah.
So basically here it's like DeckDeckGo slide title, basically. And then because you do that, JSX is gonna maps it automatically with the intrinsic element. So that was kind of when we began, that was my proof of concept was, can I fetch a dynamic slide and render it? And yeah, that's really like
Yeah. True.
I love it. It's so cool. You know, it's like just put a string and then it works, and you got like and it's mapped. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, true. Well, also, by the way, as you were saying, that those data is coming from the database. So, which database you are actually using for this?
Firestore.
Okay, Firestore for every kind of data. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So yeah.
So we got like I can show you basically if I check like a slide. So you basically got like for each slide you got like which template is used. So like if it's, you got like the content and its attribute, because we are using HTML. So when I save the data, I read HTML. When I want to save the attributes, I read the DOM, I get the element, and then I save them in the backend.
Okay. Yeah.
So it works like that. So we are using a store, but for everything which is like because you notice that there is no save button; it's save constantly. Huh? So that part is kind of custom made. So yeah, that's that one. I noticed I've wrote a bit of code, huh? So basically here, when I start a page, then I'm gonna say, okay, on input, I want to listen to input. I want to listen when the slides is loaded. I want to listen when the code is changed, when the markdown change, when the word change, and so on and so on. And then it's basically debounce, like every 500 milliseconds.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Like, do you do instantly or you do some debounce? Yeah,
debounce, and that's I can go. That's a utils I wrote because we are like we don't want. That's a side project, so basically we can have the time to take the time. You know what I mean? So we try to use dependencies only when we have to.
Yeah.
For example, here we got like an inline editor, you know? We could have used any other inline editor to do that, but instead of that, we have built our own inline editor.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, so that you have everything in your control if you want to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe like for when if I had like
Also, I mean, one question, like you were saying, like you also wrote the debounce by yourself, right? Also,
yeah
some debounce is also available in some other third-party
yeah
libraries, yeah, like Lodash and probably some others, of course.
yeah
Yeah,
exactly. So
yeah,
we got like some utils here,
yeah.
and in the utils I got like my utils which I use at the end in every project, I think.
Hmm.
And you see here is the debounce, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
And I got like some stuff like if it's mobile or is iOS, is iPad. That's I took that from the Ionic source code, huh? So it's not from me.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
And yeah, a couple of utils, and it's kind of nice because then also when I do like a project for a client, when I have to think, oh, okay, where is portrait? So I know I got a util for that, and I take my util, and I also know that that I don't have to check if it's still maintained and so on. It's my util, you know. I know it's maintained. It's
yeah,
so yeah. And
yeah,
yeah, if I go back to that one, so when we save, that's maybe not the right one. This one gonna be a bit more like crazy. So basically, we build our object, but then because it's HTML, I have to do a bit of cleaning. You know, like maybe I don't want to. Yeah, I had a surprise, like you know, like all this tool helps you with the grammar, how it's called Grammarly and stuff like that. They inject things in the DOM. So you have to pay attention that you don't want to save this information in your database and stuff like this.
yeah,
And then for the rest, it's just like, I can explain that afterwards. It's just yeah, I don't know. It's Firebase. We don't use yet, you know, with Firestore, you can have like a, how do we say that? A bidirectional, that you have listener and then you get automatically the
yeah, yeah,
data.
yeah, yeah. I know that. Yeah, which
So
is kind of a real time works. Like if there is any a push, then it also get back to you
yeah,
like a listener. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
And so we don't use that. So we always push
yeah.
basically.
Hmm.
And yeah, you notice often I got resolved like that, but it's just like the code is not new. So I began to use async await, but I don't go through my whole code every time to refactor because I want to use
Yeah,
async await. So I still have some lot of places, new promises
yeah,
and stuff like this.
yeah,
And then here, that's maybe interesting. Interesting, sorry.
yeah,
You know, I told you about the offline mode.
yeah, yeah.
So basically, for each and every, for when I persist the deck or I persist the slide and so on. So
Hmm.
for each method, I check, oh, am I offline or am I online?
Okay, yeah,
And if it goes offline, then it goes in that service, otherwise in that one. And that was kind of cool because when we introduced like the offline mode, like more than a year after the start. So I did
yeah,
not had to rewrite everything. I just had to rewrite like I put the Firestore part in a service, and then I just did the same service for offline, and then it kind of, yeah, not that easily, but kind of work it out of the box.
yeah. So basically, what you do, like when offline, you just through that service, you save it to the IndexedDB, and online it goes to the Firestore directly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can see that here. Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, for EXDB, I always use EDB keyval. So
Yeah.
I don't use much dependency, but that one I really like it. So just like the super simple wrapper to use the EDB, just like get, set, delete,
Yeah.
result, and it
Yeah.
works just like, I don't know. Yeah, it's perfect, you know?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the libraries also help a lot. I mean, I personally like to write few things when I really want to, but of course, libraries also help. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, and what can I say? Then the rest is, that's basically the core, you know? We get the data from Firestore. Then with the help of JS6, we are able to parse them.
Hmm.
I don't know, JS6 and Stencil, it's like black magic.
Yeah.
And then we debounce the event, and when it's debounce sent, then it stores the result to the database. So
Okay, cool. So, but as you are saying, like you are not using a Firestore for that real-time stuff, only for one-way communication, right? You are just pushing and saving to the database. But I also saw that you are using Webrtc somehow. Also, it was in your diagram, right?
yeah.
So, is it like if I open that editor into browser, will it sync for me?
So it's like that. You can so you have to, yeah. We try to pay attention on the, you know, the privacy.
Yeah.
So nothing is activated per default. So you have to opt in. Yeah, I want to use the remote.
Yeah.
Then I can open that, and if it works out, then it starts the remote control. He asks me if I'm agree that that person has access,
Yeah.
and then you see I got like the
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, that was actually my question. So you are actually doing this and using WebRTC to make it happen.
yeah. So the socket IO is just there so that they both know each other,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
For the initial connection, you are using
yeah,
socket.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's real time. Like if I go and I had some. I had some notes to my presentation. If I go here, maybe, yeah, shit happens, you know. So they are supposed to come here automatically in real
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I get the point.
Yeah,
And
and
the data is going through WebRTC for sure.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And we also we use a lot of QR code. For example, if let's say you go to your presentation, then you begin to, let's say COVID is beaten and we begin to meet each other
Yeah.
again in reality. So then you can say, okay, I want to connect my phone. So it's gonna display that. Then you can scan the QR code with your phone,
Yeah.
and then you got that remote control on your phone, you know, and then you can, while you are presenting, you can just remote control it with your phone like that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I get the point. So that you can walk and move and you can just
Yeah,
do things on your phone, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think it's kind of cool if you got like let's say you got like a big audience and you don't want to have like the computer in front of you.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
just have an iPad on a small desk,
Hmm.
and then you can present, and you don't have to watch your decks because your decks is here. You know the content, the
Yeah.
notes are should be there, right?
Yeah.
And so on. So yeah, and that uses Webrtc, and there is also like there is a timer, so we can say how much time you have for your presentation, and then when you go.
Okay, I think they're really cool. And do you like if someone wants to do any contribution? I think David welcomes them. Like,
Yeah.
please do it. And we also have some comments, not much, but I will share here. So Mano Bendronath actually wrote like, "Holy moly! Thanks. I hope you're liking it." And then Ashraful wrote like, "Hello everyone, hi." Sport Effort wrote, "Which language build it?" So I think the question is which language you actually used to build the whole thing. So JavaScript for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's mostly Stencil, I would say.
yeah,
So Stencil is mainly built for web components,
yeah.
but you can use it to build a whole app with it that works really well.
Okay, cool. So Ashraful wrote like, "I have just checked out DeckDeckGo. It's awesome." Okay, cool.
Super.
That yeah,
Very
you like.
cool.
And right now 9 people are watching, but we are also kind of at the end of the talk
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, I took a bit more time that we say. Huh?
No, it's fine, it's fine.
Okay.
And also Juan actually wrote like cool stuff. Juan is basically the lead maintainer of Webrtc, which is like the really kind of popular open source stuff, a private proxy registry. So if someone also wants to try Webrtc, please go search Webrtc online. And Juan will be our next guest actually in this show. So on Friday, Juan will join to show Webrtc to all of us. And for today, okay, there is another comment from Ibrahim. He wrote, "I used it. It's wonderful tools." Okay, so he already used it. So which is like you already got one real life user.
Yeah, that's really cool. Thanks a lot. Yeah, it's one more. That makes my day. I have to say. Yeah. I was fighting bugs the whole day, so yeah, that's in another project. Not that one. So yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks everybody. It's really cool to hear.
Yeah, and thanks everyone for joining. Okay, we have another comment.
Yeah,
So
thanks, Michael.
okay, I think you know him already.
Yeah,
Seems
we
like
know
so
him too.
amazing stuff. So thanks, Michael, for watching. And we'll actually sign off now. And we would like to thank everyone. And if David, you want to say something to all of us.
Yeah, thanks to everybody. Thanks for the warm message. It's really nice. And yeah, it's really cool to hear. And thank you for inviting me. It was my very first live stream. So yeah, there is always something to learn, and it was really like a pleasant experience. So thanks a lot for doing that, and I hope that you're gonna have many followers and a big community growing on this year.
Yeah, thanks a lot. But it was also my pleasure because you also agreed, as I said, and of course we will meet also in future in this show.
Yeah,
And
super.
and thanks everyone, and see you on Friday. Bye.
Bye bye.